Welcome to this new video. Today we are going to set up our local API. What I mean by local API, it is just our backend, and our backend is running with Java 8 in Java 8. It is written in Java 8 and use Spring Boot. And also the IDE that we are using for our backend is going to be IntelliJ. So please make sure IntelliJ is set up on your local, and you also have Java 8 and Spring Boot. So basically, let's open our IntelliJ. This is our IntelliJ. The first things that we are going to talk about on our IntelliJ, it is on the Pom.xml. From the Pom.xml, you need to make sure you have some dependency so that you can be able to talk to the database, because first and foremost, you need to make sure that the packaging, it is a WAR file, so that you can easily build a web application. We are using the version of Spring Boot that we are using is 2.5.7. Now for the dependency part, don't forget the Java version, which is 1.8. Now for the dependency, you need to make sure that you have the data, the Spring Boot starter data GPA for Hibernate. You also have Spring Boot starter security and the Spring Boot starter web. Now for the connection to the MySQL Workbench, you need to have this dependency on your Pom.xml. And this one, it is mainly for AWS, but you can also use it now to launch your local environment. It does not hurt. And we also have some Spring security as a dependency and some started validation. We are also using JSON Web Token, because basically to be able to secure our application, if you remember, let me open again our MySQL web application. Let me select this, run that query. This is what basically the JSON Web Token just secure your password. That helps you to secure information and secure also your password. I think we also are using an encoder for that, but anyway, this is mainly for the JSON Web Token. And that will be all. Those one are just common dependency that you need to put into your application. Please make sure all those dependencies are into your Pom.xml. So now the next thing that you need to do is to set your application.property. So you need to have a data source URL that have your database name, so that it can communicate directly with the database name. This is the local. This is for local connection that we use. This is mandatory. You need to use this for your local connection, and plus the database name. Then you have to use your username. The username should be the one that you use to set up your Workbench MySQL. Make sure it is the same name. Also, you have your password. It should also be the same as the one that you use to set your Workbench MySQL. You also have the Hibernate dialect, and then you have the Hibernate DDL auto. So here I choose to go with update because I already created, but you can, for the first time, you can use create, and then you just use update, so that it doesn't need to create again from scratch everything, or just erase all the information that are already in the database. You can just use the data already set from the database side. So those properties are really important, as it's going to help you to communicate, to establish connection with your Workbench MySQL. those properties help you to establish connection with your workbench MySQL, and then it will help you also to retrieve information, all the data from your workbench MySQL. So that's why it is really important. I already set those properties above, so I don't need those here. I'm just going to comment them out. I just use it for demonstration purpose so that you can also do the same on your end. So the next step will be for me to give you a brief overview on some of the requests, some of the endpoint used for this demo. So basically, we first have a signing endpoint. This signing endpoint just help you to register. No, this sign in. No, we need to go to sign up. Sorry. We first have a sign up endpoint. So basically, this sign up endpoint help you to register a particular user, either as an admin, as a moderator, or common user. This is the method that handle those privilege. And like you can see, we have the admin, we have the moderator, and then the default one, it is used for common user if you did not specify any privilege. This is the method that handle the sign up operation for any new user. Secondly, whenever you sign up now, you should be able to sign in with your credential and your username, and this is the method that handle that. And if you remember, we talk about JSON token. This is where we use some of those here. It is a very long sophisticated method. You use a lot of code, but this is the purpose of this video. It is not to go through those codes. You can always go online and find some free code that you can use. Then you can go, let's go now to the user control. Basically, the user control define all the operation that you can do on the user, and those user those user control basically concern the admin. The admin should be able to create a new user. The admin should be able to create new users. To create a new users, to see the user list, and to query a particular user, to update information about a user. Those operations are only to the admin. Like I said earlier, the admin has more privilege, not only about the data, the tutorial that you want to trigger, that you want to check, but also upon the user that are already registered into the application. That's why it is really important to have an admin role, because the admin role is like a super user who can control everything, all the data on the application, and make some modification as required. So this main endpoint will be used mostly by the admin user. So now if you go to the TutorialController, those are basically if you remember, let me open again our database. If you remember again, if I select this, we talked about that earlier. This is basically which control the CRUD operation on tutorial. So basically what we said is an admin can create, delete, or update a particular tutorial. Now, based on the privilege, a moderator can update, but he cannot delete a tutorial, and a common user can only view a tutorial. Those are the methods that control all of those here. And we have post mapping for tutorial that is here to create We have get mapping to trigger all the list of all the tutorial, to see a particular tutorial ID, and yeah. So basically, this controller is here to control all the operation on the tutorial. But now, depending on the privilege of the user, either you are admin or moderator or user, you are restricted to do some operation. But the admin has full control over what he can do on the tutorial. A moderator cannot delete a tutorial, but he can update it. And I think a common user can only view a tutorial. So this is the class that deal with all those operations. I think we have all the overview of that. So now I think we can now just launch our application. So that will be for the next video. Thank you for watching, and see you for the next video.